I am Mrs Wilson. I'm head teacher at St Cuthbert's Primary School in Hartlepool, and I have chosen The Winter Wish to read to the children today. The author is Helen Mortimer and the illustrator is Rachel Dean. I've chosen this book because it is about Christmas and tomorrow is the first day of Advent. Okay. Ever since he was a baby, William had lived with his mum, dad and Rufford in a tiny flat above their shop. Now he was 6 years old and 37 books tall, and there were only 11 days till Christmas. Words of Wonder was a cosy, warm and piled high with books, and William loved it. There were books that took you to faraway places, books that were filled with delicious dishes and beautiful picture books with jewel bright pages. There were squashy sofas where you could share a story with Rufford, and there were jars of Dad's homemade gingerbread on the counter for customers who came to browse. But the trouble was, there weren't many customers. You see, Words of Wonder was at the far end of the street, right on the edge of town. It was the kind of town where everyone hurried heads down to get home on cold winter days. I'm not sure how much longer we can keep our little shop going, sighed Mum one evening. We might have to close by Christmas. Her words hit William like a snowball. He couldn't let that happen. He had to save the shop. In the morning, William slipped out with Rufford before breakfast and came back with armfuls of dry leaves and twigs. He raided the recycling box. He worked hard all day, cutting, painting and sticking until William was ready. He led Mum and Dad outside saying, "Keep your eyes closed, don't look, keep them closed until I say you can open them." In William's winter window, a leafy reindeer with twig antlers pulled a painted cardboard sleigh filled with a mossy cushion and stacked with books. Shiny stars sparkled all around and foil bells hung from the reindeer's neck. "It's wonderful," said Dad. William's winter window glowed brightly, but the street was dark and empty. William wasn't sure if the window would be enough. That night, William was woken by a tinkling sound. "Arr?" Rufford let out a little questioning bark. "Come on," said William. "Let's investigate." The shop was full of shadows. Only the window was lit up. And that's when William saw the reindeer lift its head and smile. "Hello," she said. "I'm Bracken." "You're real," whispered William. "Sometimes," said Bracken, "but only in places where there's a special kind of magic." William and Rufford climbed into the sleigh. "Does that mean you are magic?" asked William. The answer came in a sudden lurch from the sleigh and a rush of icy air against William's face. They were flying. William and Rufford cuddled close as Bracken swooshed them over the rooftops and towards the fields and woods beyond. "Can your magic do anything?" he said. "Can it save our shop?" "Your winter window was where the magic started," said Bracken. "Together we'll find a way." When they stopped for a rest, William found some fresh ferns for Bracken and stroked her soft nose. His head was full of questions. As they flew back over the town, stars sparkled above them. Bracken looked down at the dark streets below, and it gave her an idea. Words can be magic, she said. Let's call out all the shiniest words we know. Twinkle, shouted William, and a window suddenly burst into colour and light. Glitter, shimmer, glow, dazzle, flash, woof! William watched as the town sparkled like never before. When their magical journey was over, William gave Bracken a hug. Oh, good night, he said, and thank you. The town was still sleeping as William and Rufford tiptoed back to bed, and Bracken settled once more, quiet, leafy and unstirring in the window. In the morning, William heard some very strange sounds. Outside, there was a chatter and laughter. People were not hurrying, they were lingering and looking. Their faces were as bright as the windows that lined William's street. All through the day, families squeezed into words of wonder. Oh, we've never been so busy, said Mum. And it's all thanks to your winter window, said Dad. Christmas Eve came and the little bookshop was still bustling. When it was time to close for the holidays, Mum, Dad and William breathed a sigh of happiness. Now they could look forward to a warm and festive days off. That night, William was woken once again by a tinkling sound. But this time it was different. At first it was a distant ringing from the sky above. Then Bracken's bell joined in from the shop below. William knew at once what it meant. He crept to his window with Rufford, just in time to see Bracken flying past to join Santa's sleigh. Goodbye, Bracken, William murmured. And with Mum, Dad and Rufford on Christmas morning, William knew he was surrounded by a special kind of magic. The end. There we go. That's our story for today.